It is kind of surprising from an economic point of view, isn't it, that lawyers are the most highly paid professional writers in the world, and yet their work products reflect such little polish.
Well, I'm afraid that that is more of a larger phenomenon of current American life.
How so?
Well, because I think our general standards of English usage have been declining for some decades now, and you can't expect lawyers to be outside the tide, and of course it is very easy to fall back on the cliches of legal writing. It's also a pervasive problem throughout written work product in our lives. If you look at, the magazines, the newspapers, and so on, they're more and more grotesque, grammatical and syntactical and usage errors nowadays than I've ever seen. In fact, I keep wondering if we're going back to the era of Shakespearean fluidity and before the Johnson Dictionary. And
because we're becoming an oral culture.
Right.
Fewer people are reading.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that judges on the whole know more about English usage than practicing lawyers?
I would hesitate to draw too many generalizations. I think judges try to be more attentive, or certainly those who have to write a lot.
What can a lawyer do to develop the kind of sensitivity to grammar and usage that you're talking about?
That reminds me of the old story about how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. And I would say that one can practice writing well in the smallest of documents, which nowadays is the email, and use the email as a great opportunity to express oneself appropriately but pithily. And if you can adapt that thought process to writing a brief, it may be a little shorter than might be the most advantageous, but at the same time it would be pretty readable.